Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how you can edit this portrait step by step. So first thing first, we have to clean this portrait. So I'm just going to go to my actions and click clean and click play. After you do that, you have two different layers. One is renamed clean, which is a background duplicated layer, and this one is a black and white help layer, which is gonna help us for cleaning. But I think that this time we aren't gonna need this because the portrait of this beautiful model is in dark skin. So let's just start cleaning. For cleaning, we are gonna use three different tools. One is spot healing brush, and patch tool. So I'm just gonna start with spot healing brush, and I'm gonna start cleaning. And be careful, guys, that when you do cleaning, you have to do it in the best way as you can, because cleaning is more like the first step or the important thing that you have to do when you do retouching. Because when you do cleaning first, and your portrait is gonna look great, because there are people, for example photographers, that use only clean. But if you're here to learn retouch, you have to clean first, because when you do that, uh, you have less work in frequency separation or in dodge and burn. Depends on what technique are using, or depends on the technique you want to learn. For example, in this video tutorial, you're gonna learn both techniques, because I use frequency separation and dodge and burn. I combine them. People are using, for example, only frequency separation or only dodge and burn, depends on the how they like their images to be. For my preferences, I like to use both, because first I use frequency separation, and after I do that, I use dodge and burn. This is my style of retouching, and if you're watching this video tutorial, you're gonna learn both of them. Uh, if you're not a subscriber, if you like my video tutorials, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you're a subscriber already and you didn't get my actions that we are using today, I would highly suggest you to check the links down below, because recently I made a retouching pack that you can go on Gumroad and buy it. It's including the retouching action full pack, uh, color grading white skin and color grading dark skin. The color grading tools, I mean like color grading action, sorry guys, because sometimes my English is, I don't know, because English is not my primary language, is my secondary language, so I'm sorry if I messed up sometimes. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below about my English if I am understandable, and if not, let me know in the comments, because this is the best way that we can communicate with each other, me and all of you guys. As I was saying, you can get my actions in Gumroad. Don't forget to check the link down below and start working. Also in the links, you can find the PSD file, which is including all the files you can see in this today video tutorial. I would suggest you go get the PSD file, because if you are trying to learn retouching step by step and you have already bought my retouching action full pack, go get the PSD file, because you can learn from copy. If you copy paste me, you're gonna learn faster, because this is the best way you can learn retouching step by step. Even great artists have copied from other artists, so don't feel bad if you wanna copy somebody. My PSD file includes, as I said, all the files that you're gonna see here in this tutorial. Uh, Also, you can use the PSD file to compare with the file you have done already if you're following me with the step-by-step process. For the moment, as I was saying in the beginning, we are cleaning with clone stamp tool. Spot healing brush. And let's just check before and after. I think that we have done some cleaning here and there. This is not too much because I'm just gonna leave some things in this portrait to be more natural. And I think that after I'm done cleaning, I would go to filter and liquify. I will just make some changes. For example, here, don't feel bad to use liquify because there are people that judge you from, for example, why are you using liquify, why are you changing the shape of the body, etc, etc. So feel free to use liquify as much as you want until you don't create some bad shapes of the model. For example, let's just check before and after. As you can see, I think it's looking amazing. Click OK. And I think that I'm gonna remove this line, so I'm just gonna create a path here with pen tool, and I will use this selection later in frequency separation. I'm just gonna create selection here, click make selection and choose feather radius 1 or 2. I would go 2 and hold Ctrl and J to create a shape from this part and leave this for later. Hold Ctrl and background, merge the layers. Now it's time for frequency separation. Let's just leave this black and white. Click on background. Let's just zoom out. Click frequency separation plus, click play, and choose the best radius for this portrait. I think that is gonna be 10, 8, sorry. I would go by 10 or 12. I think that 10 is gonna be okay. Click OK. Open this group and click on low frequency separation. For low frequency separation, we're gonna use mixer brush. For mixer brush settings, we're gonna go by wet 10, low 20, mix 50, and flow 28. And start mixing the skin tones, highlights, shadows, and etc, etc. Just don't overdo this, because if you overdo the mixing skin tones in the portrait, you're gonna remove the originality of this portrait, or the portrait you're trying to retouch in your computer as you're watching this tutorial. So I would suggest not to work that much in low frequency, because even I sometimes I do that too much, so be careful. As you can see, I'm just mixing the skin tones. Let's just check before and after. I think it's looking good for the moment. Let's just mix the lips here a little bit, not that much, because we don't want to destroy the highlight on the lips or the shadows. Always check before and after, because this is the best way that you're gonna learn retouching, only by checking the before and after. So don't forget this. I'm just gonna mix the skin tones on the arms too, a little bit on the hand. Don't forget the chest part. Not big changes, but just a little. And now it's time for this part of the shape we have done before, and use first the spot healing brush and try to remove this line. And if it's not working, and go to mixer brush with a wet of 100 and try to remove this line. Let's just check before, and as you can see now is only showing on the high frequency or in the texture. So hold control, click on this layer, which is the shape. Sorry, oops, what is going on? And make a bigger brush of the clone stamp tool, copy paste from the texture nearby, and I think that is looking good. Let's just check before and after from up. Yeah, it's looking good. We're just gonna add some burn here with exposure 10 and range of midtones just a little, not that much. And I think it's looking good, but we're gonna create another empty layer here, and I think that I'm gonna copy the color which is kind of brown here and use a brush just to remove this kind of color which is a little bit darker. Let's just check before and after. Yeah, I think it's looking good. Now back to high frequency and zoom in into the portrait. I think that I'm just gonna use clone stamp tool here to remove this part, and I think it's not removing that good because it's also showing on the low frequency. Let's just use clone stamp tool again here and remove this. Use tools for cleaning again if you're not happy. With spot healing brush you can leave marks, but if you are careful you can create some good cleaning. Sorry, you can make some good cleaning. As you can see, you are leaving marks, but I will fill them with spot healing brush. And let's just check before and after this whole process. And for the frequency separation, I think it's looking good. I'm just gonna go back to this empty layer, copy this color here, and I think that I'm just gonna add more light from this color and just touching with the pen. By the way, I'm using Wacom Intuos Pro S for retouching. I'm not using a mouse. I would highly suggest you guys to go get one because it will make your workflow faster. And you will use the mouse with only for opening the file, or I don't know, for nothing, I would say. Let's just check before and after. And I think it's looking good. I'm just gonna work a little bit on this part of the texture in the cheeks because it's not looking that good from when we zoom out. Let's just check again before and after. Yeah, I think it's good. Let's just keep a little bit more work here. And I would say that it's okay. I would suggest to keep working on the texture a little bit more because, oops, sorry. If you clean the texture in the zoom in, this is the zoom in and this is the zoom out. when you remove the pimples, I don't know, if you want to clean in a professional way, I would suggest you to work with clone stamp tool and in zoom in, because this is the best way to work in the texture and you will get that crispy look, and you will not ruin the texture, because this is the main reason of why your portrait looks blurry or some other photographers, because they overdo the texture, they make it blurry, and the portrait is not gonna look that good. So be careful when you work on the texture to use a small brush and clean your portrait. Let's just check before and after. Yeah, I think it's looking amazing. Don't forget to save your file. Go to file and click save or save as. It's saying a program error because of my computer, and save it because you can lose your electricity if you're using PC, and you're gonna lose your entire process of the work. And now it's time, I think, that we're gonna add dodge and burn. Click both of them and click play. Let's just close this frequency separation group. Add the eyes plus all in, which is the actions for the eyes. Click on the rosy lips and cheeks. And I think that we're gonna start working on the dodge. Click B for brush. With a brush of 30% of opacity, I think that I'm just gonna add a little dodge on some parts. And I'm just gonna add some dodge on the eyes, some dodge on the lips. Let's just zoom in, and with a smaller brush, let's just dodge this highlight part. Go back with a bigger brush, add a little dodge here on the chin, and add some dodge here on the arms, a little bit on the hand, a little bit, oops, sorry, and a little bit here on the neck, on the chest part. Let's just check before and after. Yeah, it's looking really nice. Check before and after always. Now zoom in with a brush of 10%. I would touch some parts of this portrait. This is not too much because this is more like a zoom in dodge. Just check before and after, and yeah, I think it's looking amazing, but I think that it's a little bit too sharp, this dodge. So I'm just gonna hold Alt keyboard and click here. As you can see, it's showing only the work we are doing on the layer mask. So I'm just gonna add a little bit blur here. Go to blur, Gaussian blur, and 10 I would say would be good. Yes. Again, hold Alt and click here on the layer mask, and I think it's looking good. Open the group on the desaturate file layer, sorry. Lower the opacity of that, and let's just check before and after. I think it's looking good. Now it's time for the burn. Click B for brush, and let's just burn the cheeks a little bit. Add some burn here on the forehead. I think that we're gonna need some burn here. Also this part. On this part that we worked before, I think that I'm just gonna add a little bit here on this part. Let's just check before and after, and yeah, I think it's looking good. Check the entire process. I think it's okay. Now it's time to remove this here from the arms. Let's just open the frequency separation, drag and drop this frequency copy, go to edit, fill, and choose 50% gray, click OK. As you can see, it's totally blurry. Add layer mask here and make it black, control delete for make it all black with a brush of 100% and start working here. As you can see that we have removed the tattoo, but I'm just gonna recover it later. I just paint it here because we want to remove the hair from the arms. With a black brush, we're gonna recover the tattoo part, and I think it's okay. Now, as you can see, it's too much blurry. We have to reduce this by 45. It's not completely removed, but it's smoothened. And I think that we're gonna add some texture here because we remove the texture. Go to this one, digital skin texture, click play, and hold control, click here because it will select only the selection we have made. Click B for brush with 100% of opacity and start working. We're just gonna add some texture. Let's just zoom in, check before and after this texture. It's amazing. As you can see, we added some in the background. I'm just gonna delete with a black brush and make this texture by 25 or maybe 30. I think 30 would be okay. Let's just check before and after the entire process. And yeah, I think it's amazing. Now it's time for the eyes. Let's just open the eyes folder. Click on the remove veins. This one is for removing veins if you have like too much in your portrait, but I think that this time we don't have that much, so I'm just gonna paint it here on the white of the eyes. And as you can see, it's too much. Just lower the opacity by 50, go to brightening and do the same paint on the white of the eyes. This one is for brightening them up. I think it's too much, but always lower the opacity of this by 35, I would say. Yes. Now go to eyeball brightening and brighten this up. Let's just zoom out. It's too much, as you can see. Let's just lower that opacity. Now it's time for iris contour. This one is my favorite for contouring the eye. This can work on the lines or on the eyelashes because it's just a darker curve layer, so you can work on the eyelashes too or on the black lines of the eyes. Depends on the makeup artist that have done something or not. Let's just check before and after. As you can see, it's darker and looking good. Let's just check the whole group of this part. Zoom out, and yeah, it's amazing. And I'm just gonna open again the frequency separation, create another empty layer, zoom in and copy the color of the eye here, because I think that I'm just gonna create like a gradient here on the eyes. And let's just remove the eye plus first, because as you can see, we have worked here on the remove veins. I'm just gonna open the group here, and I think that I would work here, create an empty layer, click B for brush and copy this color. And yes, it's working because it's a layer here. That's the reason why it didn't work on the frequency separation folder. Keep working on the group because as you can see there was no changes. And let's just check the group, sorry, the layer that we added. Zoom out, and it's looking too much, so I'm just gonna lower the opacity of this group. Sorry, group, it's a layer. Sorry about my English, guys. As I said before, let me know in the comments if I am understandable, or if I am too fast or too slow. Let me know everything. And I think this I plus group is okay. Just this one, I think it's still again too much, and I would lower the opacity of this. Close the group, and I think it's looking really nice. And I will add some lipstick color here. Click B for brush with 100% opacity of this, and add some color here on the lips. This is not a necessary process. If you want to add, just add it, and if you don't do that. Depends on your how you like it. And I think it's too much, as you can see. Just lower the opacity of this, create two empty layers, blending mode from normal to multiply. This one is for burn, and this one into screen. This one is for dodge. This one was for burn, and this one is for dodge. And copy the color of the lips. I think this one is okay. B for brush, and let's just add some dodge on the lips. I would dodge this part because I like the lines, how the light hit this part, looking really nice. And now it's time for burn. I'm just gonna add some burn into the lips, zoom out, and this one is for dodge, as I said. Check if it's okay or not. Let's just lower the opacity of this. And this one for burn. Hold shift and click here on the rose lips. Click and make group. Rename this group lips, so we will know that it's lips if you want to make changes. And I think it's too much, so just lower the opacity of this. Check before and after the entire process. It's looking really nice. And add some rosy cheeks. Let's just paint here, and this side is kind of dark, so we don't want to do here anything because it will not show anything. So let's just keep working on this side. And as you can see, too much. Just lower the opacity of this. Check before and after every time, and I think it's looking really nice. We have to work a little bit on this part, so I'm just gonna remove the eye from the texture and zoom in a little bit. Now create an empty layer, click mixer brush and sample all layers, and keep working on this part until, oops, sorry, as you can see, we have to turn off the layers on the above. So delete again this empty layer, create another one, and with the mixer brush click on sample all layers and start working on this part, because as you can see in the zoom out we have a little bit more work here. Let's just turn on the texture and check if we did or did not anything here. As you can see, we added some color but not that much, so keep working. zoom out and check before and after. I think it's looking a little bit better. Just lower the opacity of this into 50. Go to dodge, add some dodge here. Sorry, we just entered the layer mask. Click B for brush and add a little bit of dodge. Add some more until it's disappeared, this part, and I think it's good. Yes, it's looking good. Turn on the layers, check before and after, and yeah, it's looking good. Create another background duplicated layer by drag and drop. Hold shift, click here on the ellipse, and group the layers, rename them Retouch. Duplicate the group Retouch, right click and click merge group. Let's check before and after, and I think it's looking really nice. Now that we are done with retouching, we have to make some color grades here. So just click Ctrl A and Ctrl C for copy. Go to File, New, click Create, and Ctrl V for click and hold Ctrl. Right click and merge layers. Now open the color grade dark skin, and until we find the best color grade for this portrait, I'm just gonna click play on them one by one. And this one, I think it's looking good. I'm just gonna drag and drop this group here into the original file and search for another color grade. And this one is looking good too. I would search for another one. And this one is really amazing, as you can see. And this one is really nice. I'm just gonna drag and drop here and look for other color grades. That one was really nice, but not for today. But I think that we have found our color grades. And sorry, we have deleted, I guess. No, here it is. And duplicate this retouch copy. Click on this first. But I think that this one has to be on top. Click on this one first. And play with them one by one until we find the best color grade. I think this one is too much, so I'm just gonna lower the opacity of this. Let's just check this layer and add some curves. It's really nice. I think that I would go by 30. This color balance is looking really nice, but lower this one into 60. And let's just check this layer. I think it's desaturated, so just lower this. And this one is great. You have to play with the files inside the color grade actions, because you will not find the best color grade until you start playing with the layers one by one. Just close this group, and as you can see, it's looking really nice for the moment. And click on this other group and play with them until you find that other color grade. But I think that for this group, I'm just gonna go by 25 and click on color balance, go to highlights and play with your highlights until you find your best color grading. And I think this one is looking really nice. go to selective, click on red. I wanna make some changes on the background or the backdrop. Let's just check this one. I think it's okay. It's affecting our subject or the model. So I'm just gonna click brush, click B for brush, and remove this red color from the model. And I'm just gonna leave it on the backdrop or the background. Check before and after. I think it's okay. And go again to actions, click on face contouring and click play. Let's just check the before and after of this layer. I think it's looking good. Just play with the midtones and highlights until it's okay for you. Let's just check before of this color grade and hold shift keyboard, click merge, click group first and rename this color grade. Duplicate the color grade group, merge the color grade group, and you will have your single layer of color grading. And I think it's looking amazing. Let's just check before and after this entire process. First, it's on the retouch, before, before, and after. And this one is with color grade, before, after, before, and after. Let's just zoom in. As you can see, we have that texture. We didn't change that. It's a crispy look, before, before, and after. And I think that this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment down below, drop some likes for the algorithm, and check my social media because this is Instagram that I use the most because I post there the latest news about everything that I do. And don't forget to get my actions because without them you can't get this great results as we did today on this model. And I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial, and I hope that this one is really and would be really helpful for you guys. And as I said before, don't forget to check all the links I put in the description, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.